What's up, lore masters? One of my largest complaints about Star Trek lore, especially in TNG, is the absolute heavy-handed nature against religion. The attacks that were set upon religious people and the complete disregard for an idea without explaining why that idea is bad has always been something that I thought was just bad writing. Honestly, I'm ecstatic that Star Trek Online fixed this issue with the creation of the Ajax Engineering Pilot Escort Ship, where Picard was shown to be one of the largest bigots in Starfleet in TNG's Who Watches the Watchers. The Ajax Engineering Pilot Escort, through its design, shows that there can't possibly be a god. When you take a look at the mechanics, you see that, mostly, all hope is lost, and the design only marginally insults your intelligence. In the 25th century, the constant death and endless wars would ultimately impact some of those at the Starfleet Corps of Engineers, breaking them and causing them to fall into pure madness. These maniacs, these insane individuals, would begin to think that they should emulate the ludicrous loss of life that was seen with starfighter pilots, just at a much, much larger scale. This would be realized in the Ajax design. The ship itself has a cropped forward hull with 4 coolant conduits that extend out of the bow and hook back into the hull. Because if there's one thing you want exposed at the fore of your vessel, it's the stuff that keeps you from overheating. The ship's wings curve slightly downward, with the vessel's warp nacelles being housed internally. The engines are given a Vulcan-like design by being mounted in a ring around the hull and sliding back in combat to expose the vessel's micro-projectile launchers. The vessel is also outfitted with special redline maneuvering thrusters, allowing it to be thrown across the fracking map, causing confusion to the captain, but somehow being touted as a feature. The unusual design would allow it to perform extreme feats of mobility, with some claiming this allows it to move in ways other designs could not. Resources state that the ship could be modified to look more like the Icarus class, going from one of the shortest pilot escort variants to the longest pilot escort variant. This variant has an extended nose and actually protects its coolant systems, which was odd for some of the engineers. We also see the Mercury class ship, which splits the hull, sandwiching the deflector between 2 forked points in the bow. However, it would appear that both of these variants have to be purchased, and attempts to change them at space dock would result in the requisition officer becoming confused and offering to modify them into a Denabi class, and then never actually doing that when you request it be done. Depending on the layout you set up, the ship has specialty consoles for up to 5 tactical officers, 4 engineering officers, and/or 2 science officers. The vessel has 5 weapons fore, 2 weapons aft. Additionally, there is a specialized compartment that allows for experimental weapons that go above and beyond that of other ships. The most well-known weapon is the hyper-excited ion stream projector, Mark 10, but other different variable weapons can be installed. The ship would have a lot of advantages and special abilities because, as everyone knows, the smaller a vessel is, the more technology you can put on it. I mean, that's just science. Among these abilities include the standard escort armaments, which are precise weapon systems allowing for more accurate hits, tactical maneuvering ensuring one can avoid getting hit, enhanced weapon systems, again allowing for accurate attacks, devastating weaponry ensuring when you hit something you hit it very hard, and structural integrity overcharge, which apparently allows you to fix your ship faster. The vessel can also produce subspace eddies, which cause kinetic damage to any vessel within range. With all of the dangers and advanced technology the Federation was up against, Starfleet engineers were tasked with trying to figure out good counters to these threats. While walking through space dock, an engineer would see idiots running and sometimes jumping forward, doing twirls and rolling on the floor past the person they were trying to talk to. This pinnacle of Starfleet engineering would think to him, her, or itself and say, yeah, why don't we have that? Let's make it so our ships can do barrel rolls in random directions, regardless of what the captain wants. And thus, you would have the creation of pilot maneuvers. This would allow the ship to immediately and instantly move in any direction. Of course, it would confuse the hell out of any navigation officer or captain who didn't know about this stellar ability and had to look up what was going on Space Google. If I'm being honest, I don't like this ship. Though I will say it is excessively tough, taking a beating some previous vessels I've reviewed could not. I do like the idea of trying to create a middle ground between a starfighter and the Defiant class, though if I'm being honest, I guess technically the Defiant class is a middle between a fighter and an actual ship itself, but we won't get into that. The idea of combat pilots commanding larger ships with crews and using more powerful vessels, but still have some of the agility of starfighters is a great idea, even if not realized, at least in my opinion, in this class. But all of these are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.